What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. Hope you're all doing very well. We're going to talk about the last bunch of changes that are coming through for Paladin in general in patch 10.0.7. So we talked about Ret Paladin, and there is a major rework on Ret Paladin. That is the bulk of the changes that's coming through. However, there are also changes coming for the other two specs, most notably on the class tree, which I did touch on a little bit. But I just want to go in and also talk about some of the spec changes that have happened for Holy and for Prot, and then also the defensive changes that have happened for Ret Paladin, because I didn't really touch on those in the Ret video, because I was really just focused on all the new builds that we're getting. So let's dive into that. So on Holy Paladin, there's not a lot of changes, except that the shields from Fading Light, as I talked about in other videos, I think is going to be really, really strong. Because the ability to have Dusk and Dawn rolling all the time now is very easy, especially for Holy. I mean, it's just really easy to generate Holy power, depending on where your beacons are and stuff. So you can basically have Dusk rolling all the time, probably, and then your Holy power generating abilities will grant an Absorb shield for 20% of the damage done. This is like a pretty big deal, I think, for Holy Paladin, because they're a melee healer, and oftentimes can be in the middle of the fray, so to speak, and be in a lot of danger. So I think this is a great change for them. Now, on the spec side, really not a whole lot has changed, except that Sanctified Wrath has replaced Divine Toll. Glimmer's still down here, but that's really the only big change here. Obviously, Seraphim is gone, like we said before. Sanctified Wrath is gone from the class tree, but it's moved over to the spec tree, and it sits right here now, which makes sense. This is the Holy Shock area of the tree, and Sanctified Wrath affects your Holy Shock, giving it 40% cooldown. So that's the biggest change, really, for Holy Paladin. There are a couple of other... I think there was another little change in one of these nodes here, but I can't actually remember where it is. Actually, I don't think there is. It's for Prot Paladin, or Prot... Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. So just the Sanctified Wrath change, that's about it. The pathing could be a little bit strange now, depending on what you want to do. I'm actually doing this weird build where I'm trying, like, Boundless Salvation, yada yada, but realistically, if you're doing a Holy Shock build, you probably have full access now to Empyrean Legacy and Crusader's Might, which is not something I was able to pick up before when I was doing a Holy Shock focused build. So that's actually kind of cool. I feel like this is a net buff to Holy Paladin, but again, the bulk of the changes are really going to be on the class tree for them, the shields from Fading Light, and then some healing from Crusader's Reprieve. That's about it. Let's switch to Prot, where there's a lot more changes to actually talk about that are, I think, really important. The one thing I didn't mention for Holy there, which all three specs are getting, is this new node, Sanctified Plate. So this is important for Holy as well, and I should have mentioned it, but really this is more important for Prot Paladin. Armor increased by 20%, stamina increased by 10%, and damage taken from AoE reduced by 10%. That is insane. 10% avoidance, 10% stam, 20% armor. That is absolutely crazy for Prot Paladin. Now, we don't know yet if they're going to modify Prot Paladin's base armor stats and stuff to compensate for the fact that you might end up taking this on the class tree. I don't think they are, because, again, this is a choice node. You don't have to take it. So I hope they don't, because it feels like just a straight-up massive buff to defense for Prot Paladin. So this is really crazy. Also, Crusader's Reprieve is really crazy now. Your Crusader strikes heal you for 2% of your maximum health, and then the 3-yard range is actually a really big deal. I didn't realize this before, but if you go up and take Crusader Aura, it increases the range of Crusader Strike by 3 yards, and then you could get another 3 yards here on Crusader Strike. So you can get, like, actually a 6-yard range on Crusader Strike, which is kind of crazy. Probably not what you're going to be doing. I just wanted to make a note of it. But realistically, the 2% of your maximum health every single time you hit Crusader Strike is a really big deal. This does apply to Blessed Hammer. From my testing and what I've been able to see, it does apply to Blessed Hammer, and it does apply to Hammer of the Righteous, because those replace Crusader Strike, right? You can see right there, it says replaces Crusader Strike. So you actually effectively get 3 charges of this heal. I mean, in Mythic Plus, you're pressing this thing all the time to generate Holy Power. So I think this is a really solid combination. Another huge one for Prot Paladin is this. Faith's armor, Shield of the Righteous grants 20% bonus armor for 4.5 seconds. Like, Shield of the Righteous is, of course, our main armor generator. It gives me 8,663 armor. So we're going to get 20% more, which is like another 2,000 armor almost, maybe 1,800 armor on top of that. So instead of 8,600, you're getting like 10,000 armor. So actually huge, like 20% more armor from here and then another 20% more armor from here. This is massive, massive tankiness coming in for Prot Paladin. And not that they even needed it. I think Prot Paladin is in a good spot, but my god, they're getting some serious defensive buffs here with this and then the healing as well coming from here. So that's really, really cool. The other one that I want to talk about on the spec side of the tree is, of course, this Faith in the Light. I talked about this in my other video, but Word of Glory giving you 30% additional block is ridiculous. Also, Avenging Wrath can give you 10% block. That was already in the game. But you're going to get more block from here. So you have 20% more block already. When you cast Wog, you get 30% more block. So that's 50. And then 60% more from Avenger's Shield. Like, you can have an absolutely absurd amount of block. Like, I can add 30% more to this, plus another 10 from Avenger's Shield. So you can get 81% block just with what I have right now. And remember, Holy Paladin blocks spells with Holy Shield. So really crazy in terms of just Faith in the Light got massively buffed, and I think it's worth taking now, especially in Mythic Plus. I'm not sure about Raid, but I think definitely in Mythic Plus this is worth taking. Okay, the other huge thing I want to talk about for healing, there's a tiny one over here. This is what I was alluding to earlier on Holy Paladin, but it was on Prot Paladin. Tyrion's Devotion, Lay on Hands cooldown reduced by 1 second per holy power spend. I don't know how good this is going to be. We already have Unbreakable Spear, which reduces Lay on Hands cooldown by 30%. So it's down to 7 minutes. And I don't know what this would do for you. Maybe this would bring it down to like a 5-minute cooldown, realistically. Is that even worth it? Probably not. So I don't know if that's, I don't know. This seems kind of weak to me. This doesn't seem weak to me. This is insane. Seal of Charity. This is literally Shielding Words, the Shielding Words conduit from Shadowlands, if you guys remember that, brought into the modern game. So Shielding Words said when you Word of Gloried anything, you got a shield. This says when you Word of Glory someone other than yourself, you also heal. So it's a little bit different, a little bit less flexible than Shielding Words was, but this continues to cement the fantasy for Prot Paladin of being that extra support beacon for your team in a Mythic Plus key especially, where you can help your healer out with these giant Word of Glories, especially because of Hand of the Protector, right? Word of Glory's healing goes up based on their health. You can full heal somebody with this thing. Watch this. Let me show you really quickly. These dummies over here are really, really low on health. Look at this guy, training dummy. Let me get 3... Watch my character right here. My Just Bob. Let me move this for you so you can see it. Edit mode. Let's move it right into the middle. Okay. My player frame here. So I have 3 holy power. I'm going to heal this training dummy, and it's going to hit him for like 200k, and I'm going to get half of that. Watch this. Here goes my Wog. 286k. I got 158k healing off of that because of Seal of Charity. So this is what you can do now, in particular Mythic Plus, right? Somebody in your team's getting dramatically low. You smack them with the Word of Glory, and it heals you. So it's efficient to do so. It's worth it to do that. So massive bonus there. I love Seal of Charity. I love this idea. Really cements the Prot Paladin support fantasy in my mind, which is really, really great. Okay? That's the healing and the defense. Let me talk about the damage really quick. Eye of Tyr got a big bonus to damage underneath of it. Eye of Tyr deals 300% more damage and has 25% reduced cooldown. This is insane. Instead of a 1-minute cooldown, it's a 45-second cooldown, and it now deals about almost 16,000 holy damage to all nearby enemies. It only did like 3,000 before or something, or 3,800 or something like that. So I think that's worth it for damage. Like one talent point to give this thing that big of a smack, that's pretty crazy. The rest of the Prot Paladin tree, people have been very upset about, angry that they have to take, you know, Resolute Defender to get down to Righteous Protector and Sanctified Wrath to get any of that stuff. I understand people's frustrations, but honestly, I think Prot Paladin's going to be perfectly fine. I think with all the buffs coming over in the class side of the tree, as well as some interesting buffs on the spec side here with, like, Shield, Charity, and Inmost Light, I think they're going to be just fine. So let's move on to the final one, Ret Paladin. This is the big one I wanted to get to. Let's start off with Ret Paladin healing. So we're going to talk about healing, speed, and defense. This is some of the biggest struggles that Ret Paladin has had in the game. They're one of the weakest and most, squishy, especially melee DPS, and they have really very little self-healing without having to spend a lot of resources to do so. So what is Blizzard doing to shore that up for us? Number one, there's 2 nodes in the top here that cover a lot of the utility for you. This one here, Light's CELERY? I always say it wrong. CELERY. Light CELERY? Somebody, I always say this wrong. It drives me crazy. I had it. I practiced it this morning. I can't remember now. It doesn't matter. Flash of Light casts instantly, but its healing done is increased by 50%, but it has a 6-second cooldown. Okay, but that's insane. Look at this thing. It heals me for 32k now. Boom. I just heal myself. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, I need another heal. Boom. I'm going to heal myself. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, somebody else needs a heal. Boom. I can heal that guy. He's a PvP mode. I can't heal him. But you see what I'm saying? Instantly, every 6 seconds, you have a heal. That's insane. That is so strong. And it heals for 32k. That's more than 10% of my health. This is actually, I think, really strong. Just having another consistent recovery tool that you can cast on the move. Very strong, in my opinion. Then there's like a pseudo-cheat death with Guided Prayer. When your health is dropped below 25%, you instantly wog yourself, which is okay. Not the best, but it's interesting. Maybe decent in raid or something. I actually still think that this one's just way better. Light CELERY. I can't think of the actual name. Then there's some, we got Healing Hands is back. Very, very good. And then you have this new one called Unbound Freedom. Blessing of Freedom increases your movement speed by 30%, and you gain Blessing of Freedom when you cast it on a friendly target. Very, very cool. The speed bonus from that is incredible. 30% movement speed is amazing on a 25-second cooldown. Like, that is amazing. I don't have it right now, but that is honestly something Ret really needs in PvE. I know that PvP guys are going to be crying, but this is what Ret really needs. The other movement speed bonus they're giving to us is right here. Judgment of Justice. Judgment deals more damage and increases your movement speed by 10% for 5 seconds. So again, very cool. It does work with Divine Toll as well. It doesn't stack with Divine Toll. You just get one instance of 10% movement speed from what I've been able to see so far. Okay? Those are your speed up boosts. And then that's the healing on the spec side of the tree. There's also obviously more over here. There's one more, Justicar's Venge. I'll get to that in a second. But you've got Crusader's Reprieve, which you talked about earlier. So Crusader Strike is giving you healing, which is really great. And then auto attack range is really good for Ret Paladin in terms of just getting more damage in there, not being limited in terms of like a mechanic coming out that's stopping you from doing damage. That's very cool. This is a new one here as well. Lightforge Blessing. Divine Storm heals you and up to 5 nearby allies for 5% of your maximum health. I don't know if this is working right now. I haven't been able to get it to work. But let's just press Divine Toll. And then I'm going to hit my Divine Storm. Let's see if everybody gets healed here. It healed me, but I didn't see any of these guys get healed. Watch my health bar. 5,000 health right there I got healed by. So, again, in Mythic Plus in particular, this is insane for Ret Paladin because it's just passive healing that you're going to be getting all the time. You're pressing Divine Storm all the time in Mythic Plus. So I think this is very strong. 5% of your maximum health. You combo Lightforge's Blessing with something like Light's CELERY. I'm so sorry, guys. You have a massive amount of healing coming in just all the time if you need it. Again, the flash heal, just boom, hit flash heal and you're good. Now, let's talk about defense. I talked about speed and healing. Let's talk about defense. Number 1, Sanctified Plates. Once again, this is so good for Ret Paladin. More stamina, more armor. It makes sense. As a plate class, it makes sense to have more armor. Very, very good. Fading Light Shields, also really good. Dusk of Dawn is proccing all the time. Getting extra shields all the time for your generators is actually really seriously good, man. It's not bad at all. Then we've got the big Shield of Vengeance. This is a 1-minute cooldown now. Obviously, you have to still take Unbreakable Spirit to lower its cooldown, but the base cooldown on Shield of Vengeance went down. So now it's a 1-minute cooldown. Absolutely amazing. And then baseline, we got Divine Protection right here. Reduces all damage you take by 30% for 8 seconds. The reason it's 30% is because of this, Aegis of Protection. This is really good. Divine Protection reduces damage you take by an additional 10%. Shield of Vengeance protects you from 30% more damage. So now we have a baseline 30% DR on a 1-minute cooldown, which is really strong, by the way. We have a 1-minute shield that gives me 110k right now. We have healing from Lightforge's Blessing every time we press Divine Storm. Healing every time we press Crusader Strike. Healing every 6 seconds. Or a cheat death, whatever you want. And then we have crazy amounts of armor and stamina and avoidance from Sanctified Plates. So, okay, this is like attempt number 7 here. This is bugging out so bad today. It's okay. Here's the last piece I want to talk about for healing. You've got Justicar's Vengeance. This replaces your Templar's Verdict. So you can either choose between Final Verdict or Justicar's Vengeance. And, you know, Justicar's Vengeance is not something we've really used ever, but it actually heals you. It does equivalent damage to Final Verdict, but it heals you. Final Verdict, of course, gives you the Hammer of Wrath reset. But this is an interesting idea to me, and I want to show you how much this heals for. Look at my health bar in the middle of your screen. Justicar's Vengeance, Justicar's Vengeance. There's some big healing. It just crit. And then I can heal myself with Flash of Light and Justicar's Vengeance. Like, I'm on a tanking dummy as a Ret Paladin. And this is something that, like, I can also use Divine Storm to heal. Divine Storm, right? There's, like, just so much healing now. I'm going to heal from Flash of Light, and I'm going to heal from Justicar's Vengeance. Now, I'm not even touching my actual defensive tools, which are the now Shield of Vengeance and Divine Protection. Watch this heal here. Justicar's, Flash of Light, about Justicar's again. We're back to full. This is like a pretty insane amount of healing that Ret Paladin has now that I think is going to make them a much more acceptable melee DPSer. That this is something where you could actually take Justicar's Vengeance and maybe the extra heal from Flash of Light into your Mythic Plus, or maybe your Raid Prog Knight, and you might actually just be able to survive some of those moments that you otherwise wouldn't be able to survive through, and you can do it all on your own. I'm not saying it's going to be good for your DPS, but just look at how long I'm able to live here. I just want to highlight how tanky you can be. Like, it's actually insane. We're doing a decent amount of damage anyway. Justicar's Vengeance doesn't do 0 damage. It does. I'm not even using all my abilities. I just wanted to show you the proof of concept here. Here's a heal. There's another heal. We're getting a little desperate now. There's another heal. Boom, boom. It can obviously trigger your free Divine Purpose proc. Let's do this. We're kind of waiting for our Shield of Vengeance to get back, but it's getting a little dicey now. It's okay. Let's do that. Here we go. Big heal from Flash of Light. Oh, I died. Damn. You can see my point there. My point is simply to say this is an absurd amount of healing from a Ret Paladin that we didn't have before. Crusader's Reprieve, Judgment of Light, Flash of Light, and there's your Justicar's Vengeance there. So, very, very good stuff on the healing front. And another tool, if you wanted to bring it into a Mythic Plus, like I said, or let's say a Raid Prog Knight, you can actually do that on the tree here now. And you're not going to lose a whole lot, actually. It does the same base value damage as Final Verdict does. It's just that you don't get the Hammer of Wrath reset. So that's it, guys. I've been through all the different stuff there for Ret Paladin, and it is looking amazing on the defensive front. A shield, a 30% DR, amazing single target healing, AoE healing, more healing from Crusader's Reprieve. You've got crazy utility in terms of your speed from Unbound Freedom or Judgment giving you speed. There's a cheat death in there, and then I think Light's Celery. The proc that you're getting from Flash of Light is actually incredibly strong just to have consistent healing the way. So that's Prot and Holy and Ret, all the some sort of big changes that are coming through on the spec side of things. I just wanted to highlight those for you, and in particular, Ret Paladin, because I think it's looking to be an amazing spec going into 10.0.7. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think that Ret Paladin's going to be overpowered now? Let me know what you think about it down there. I'd love to talk to you down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one.